Imagine you've spent 20 or 30 years building your career. You've worked hard, paid your taxes, and supported your family. Then, without warning, a serious illness or life-changing injury makes it impossible to continue working. Your paycheck suddenly stops, but your mortgage or rent, utility bills, groceries, insurance premiums, and everyday living expenses don't disappear. For millions of Americans, this isn't a hypothetical situation. It's a reality that can happen at almost any stage of a working career. That's where Social Security Disability Insurance, commonly known as SSDI, comes in. SSDI is designed to provide financial support to eligible workers who develop a severe disability that prevents them from performing substantial work for an extended period. While it may not replace a full paycheck, it can provide an important source of income during an extremely difficult time. One of the biggest misconceptions about SSDI is that it's a government assistance program based on financial need. In reality, SSDI is an insurance program. Throughout your working years, you and your employer pay Social Security payroll taxes. Part of those payroll taxes helps fund disability insurance coverage. In many ways, it's similar to other forms of insurance. You contribute while you're working, and if you later meet the program's eligibility requirements, you may qualify for benefits when you need them most. Another source of confusion is the difference between SSDI and SSI. Although the names sound similar, they're two separate programs with different eligibility rules. Social Security Disability Insurance is based primarily on your work history and the Social Security taxes you've paid over your career. Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, is a separate needs-based program intended for individuals with limited income and resources, regardless of their work history. Because both programs are administered by the Social Security Administration and both serve people with disabilities, they're often confused. Understanding that distinction is one of the first steps toward understanding your potential eligibility. In the next section, we'll explain who qualifies for SSDI, how Social Security defines disability, and why meeting the medical requirements alone isn't always enough to receive benefits. Common questions people ask is, do I qualify for SSDI? The answer depends on more than simply having a medical condition. The Social Security Administration has a very specific definition of disability. To qualify for SSDI, your medical condition must prevent you from performing substantial gainful activity, often referred to as SGA. In simple terms, this means your condition must prevent you from earning above a certain monthly income level through work. In addition, your disability must be expected to last at least 12 consecutive months or be expected to result in death. Temporary illnesses, short-term injuries, or conditions that improve within a few months generally do not qualify for SSDI benefits. Medical eligibility is only one part of the process. SSDI is an insurance program, so you must also have earned enough work credits by paying Social Security payroll taxes during your working years. Work credits are based on your annual earnings. Most workers can earn up to 4 credits each year, although the amount of earnings required for each credit is adjusted periodically by the Social Security Administration. In general, most adults need approximately 40 work credits to qualify for SSDI, with at least 20 of those credits earned during the 10 years immediately before becoming disabled. However, younger workers may qualify with fewer credits because they have had less time to build a work history. Meeting the work credit requirement alone still does not guarantee approval. The Social Security Administration carefully reviews your medical records, physician reports, laboratory findings, imaging studies, treatment history, and other medical evidence to determine how your condition affects your ability to work. The administration also evaluates whether your condition prevents you from performing not only your previous job, but also other types of substantial work that may reasonably fit your education, training, and work experience. Many medical conditions can potentially qualify for SSDI, including certain cancers, severe heart disease, advanced neurological disorders, significant mental health conditions, serious musculoskeletal injuries, and many other impairments. However, there is no automatic approval simply because someone has received a particular diagnosis. Every application is evaluated based on the medical evidence and the functional limitations documented in each individual case. Age can also play an important role during the evaluation process. While SSDI is available to eligible workers of many ages, Social Security recognizes that it may become more difficult for older workers to adjust to new occupations after a disabling condition develops. Age, education, and previous work experience may therefore be considered as part of the overall vocational assessment. In the next section, we'll walk through the SSDI application process, explain what documents you'll need, how Social Security reviews your claim, and what happens if your initial application is denied. Applying for Social Security disability insurance can feel overwhelming at first, especially if you're already dealing with a serious medical condition. Understanding the process ahead of time can help you avoid unnecessary surprises and prepare a stronger application. The first step is to submit an application to the Social Security Administration. You can apply online, by telephone, or by scheduling an appointment at your local Social Security office. Before you begin, it's helpful to gather as much information as possible. You'll typically need personal identification, your Social Security number, employment history, information about your medical providers, a list of your medications, and details about any hospitals, clinics, or specialists who have treated your condition. Having this information readily available can make the application process much smoother. Medical evidence is one of the most important parts of your claim. Social Security doesn't approve benefits simply because an applicant says they cannot work. The decision is based on objective medical documentation that demonstrates how your condition limits your ability to perform substantial work activities. Your medical records may include physician notes, hospital records, imaging studies such as X-rays or MRIs, laboratory test results, surgical reports, therapy records, and documentation of ongoing treatment. The more complete and consistent your medical evidence, the easier it is for Social Security to evaluate your claim. In some cases, the Social Security Administration may schedule what's called a consultative examination. This is an examination performed by an independent medical professional selected by Social Security when additional information is needed. It doesn't necessarily mean there's a problem with your application. Often, it's simply a way to obtain more complete medical evidence before a decision is made. Once your application has been submitted, disability examiners review your work history, medical records, and other supporting documentation. They may also contact your healthcare providers if additional information is required. Many applicants are surprised to learn that receiving an initial decision can take several months. Processing times vary depending on the complexity of the claim, the availability of medical records, and the workload of the state agency reviewing the application. Patience is often necessary throughout the process. It's also important to understand that many initial SSDI applications are denied. A denial does not automatically mean you don't qualify for benefits. Sometimes additional medical evidence is needed, records may be incomplete, or Social Security may determine that more information is required before approving the claim. If your application is denied, you generally have the right to appeal the decision. The appeals process may include reconsideration, a hearing before an administrative law judge, review by the Appeals Council, and, in some cases, review by a federal court. Many successful claims are approved during one of these later stages. Throughout the process, keep copies of everything you submit, respond promptly to requests for additional information, and continue following your prescribed medical treatment. Careful documentation and timely communication can make a meaningful difference as your claim moves forward. In the next section, we'll explain how SSDI benefits are calculated, when Medicare coverage may begin, and what options are available if you're eventually able to return to work. Once you're approved for Social Security disability insurance, you may naturally wonder how much you'll receive, whether your family can qualify for benefits when Medicare coverage begins, and what happens if your health eventually improves. Unlike supplemental security income, SSDI benefits are not based on financial need. Instead, your monthly benefit is calculated using your lifetime earnings that were subject to Social Security payroll taxes. In general, workers with higher lifetime earnings receive higher monthly disability benefits, although the exact amount varies for each individual. In some situations, certain family members may also qualify for benefits based on your work record. Depending on your circumstances, this may include your spouse and eligible children. Social Security has specific rules that determine who qualifies and how much can be paid to family members. Many people are surprised to learn that Medicare coverage is also available to most SSDI beneficiaries. In most cases, Medicare eligibility begins after a 24-month waiting period following entitlement to disability benefits. Once eligible, Medicare can provide valuable health insurance coverage during a time when medical care is often especially important. Another common concern is whether attempting to return to work will immediately cause disability benefits to stop. Fortunately, Social Security includes several work incentive programs designed to encourage beneficiaries to test their ability to work without automatically losing their benefits. One of the most important is the trial work period. This allows many SSDI beneficiaries to attempt returning to work for a limited period while continuing to receive their disability benefits, provided they continue to meet the program's requirements. Another helpful program is Ticket to Work. This voluntary program offers employment support services, vocational rehabilitation, training, and other resources to help eligible beneficiaries prepare for, find, or maintain employment if returning to work becomes possible. Even after benefits are approved, Social Security periodically conducts continuing disability reviews, often called CDRs. These reviews are used to determine whether a beneficiary continues to meet the medical requirements for disability benefits. The frequency of these reviews generally depends on whether medical improvement is considered likely, possible, or not expected. If your medical condition improves and you are eventually able to return to substantial work, your SSDI benefits may change over time according to Social Security's rules. The program is designed to provide financial support while a qualifying disability prevents substantial employment, while also encouraging individuals to return to work whenever it is medically possible. In our final section, we'll share several practical tips that can help strengthen an SSDI application and explain why persistence is often an important part of the process. If you ever need to apply for Social Security disability insurance, taking a few practical steps before submitting your application can improve the process and help ensure that your claim is as complete as possible. First, keep thorough medical records. Make sure you know the names of your healthcare providers, the dates of your treatments, the medications you take, and any hospitalizations or procedures you've had. Accurate and organized records make it easier for Social Security to evaluate your claim. Second, Continue following your doctor's prescribed treatment whenever possible. Regular medical care creates an ongoing record of your condition and demonstrates how your disability affects your daily life over time. If you're unable to follow a recommended treatment plan, be prepared to explain the reason. Third, be honest and complete throughout the application process. Describe your symptoms accurately and explain how your medical condition limits your ability to perform work-related activities. At the same time, avoid exaggerating or minimizing your limitations. Clear, consistent, and truthful information is always the best approach. If Social Security requests additional medical records or asks you to attend a consultative examination, respond promptly. Delays in providing requested information can slow the review of your application. It's also important to remember that an initial denial is not uncommon. Many applicants who ultimately receive SSDI benefits are approved only after requesting reconsideration or pursuing an appeal. If you believe you meet the eligibility requirements, carefully review the reasons for the denial, provide any additional supporting evidence that may be needed, and follow the appeal deadlines established by Social Security. Because every person's medical condition and work history are different, there is no guaranteed outcome for any SSDI application. Eligibility depends on the facts of each individual case and the evidence available at the time the claim is reviewed. We hope this overview has helped you better understand how Social Security disability insurance works, who may qualify, how the application process is handled, and what to expect if you need to file a claim. Please remember that this video is intended for general educational purposes and should not be considered legal, financial, or medical advice. Social Security rules and benefit amounts may change over time, and individual circumstances can vary. For the most current information, visit the Social Security Administration's official website or speak directly with a qualified representative. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the Retirement Briefing. By subscribing, you'll receive future videos covering Social Security, Medicare, retirement planning, and other topics designed to help you make more informed financial decisions throughout retirement. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next episode.